the Spanish Inquisition, a phrase that has echoed through history with an ominous ring. A shadowy institution synonymous with religious persecution, dramatic trials, and the burning flames of execution. But as history often teaches us, the story is more nuanced than it first appears. Was the Inquisition a manifestation of ruthless retribution, or did it serve as a necessary evil during a time of upheaval? Our journey begins in the late 15th century. Spain, freshly unified under Ferdinand and Isabella, was on the cusp of becoming a superpower. Yet, beneath the surface, tensions simmered. The kingdoms of Castile and Aragon had opened their doors to diverse peoples. Jews, Muslims, and Christians coexisted for centuries in a multicultural tapestry. However, the Catholic monarchs envisioned a unified nation under one faith. Thus, in 1478, they established the Spanish Inquisition with the blessing of Pope Sixtus IV. Its primary aim was to identify heretics among newly converted Christians, particularly conversos, Jews who had converted to Christianity, sometimes under duress or for social acceptance. Suspicion lingered that many continued to practice Judaism in secret. Enter the Inquisition, a formidable force granted sweeping powers to investigate, interrogate, and punish. The methods employed were as infamous as the institution itself. Trials were shrouded in secrecy, accusers unnamed. Confessions were extracted through duress, and punishments ranged from penance to conversion to execution, the notorious auto da fe. These public spectacles of faith saw heretics marched before crowds, symbolizing the unyielding power of the Catholic Church. Yet, was the Inquisition purely a tool of tyranny? Some historians argue it was a necessary response to the social turmoil of the time. The Iberian Peninsula was a religious mosaic, and instability could have endangered the fledgling Spanish nation. The Inquisition, then, was a mechanism for enforcing order, albeit a brutal one. By rooting out perceived threats to Catholic orthodoxy, the monarchy solidified its control over a religiously unified nation. Critics, however, point out that the Inquisition was an instrument of fear and control. Thousands were imprisoned, tortured, and executed, with a staggering number of those tried being conversos. Communities were uprooted, families torn apart, and entire cultures dismantled for the sake of supposed religious purity. As the centuries passed, the Inquisition evolved, expanding its focus to include Protestants, mystics, and even intellectuals who questioned orthodoxy. Its power waned with the rise of Enlightenment ideals in the 18th century, eventually being abolished in 1834. Yet its legacy continues to haunt history. In reflecting on the Spanish Inquisition, we confront uncomfortable truths. It represents the dark intersection of faith, power, and human rights abuses. The dichotomy remains. Whether these actions were ruthless or justified, it compels us to question the moral compass of societies that resort to extremity for the preservation of conformity. Understanding the Spanish Inquisition in its entirety is essential. It is a lesson in the perils of unchecked authority and the misuse of religious zeal. Above all, it prompts us to consider if any cause, however noble it may seem, can truly justify means that compromise our shared humanity.